I noticed a line of ants in our front yard, and that got me bothered. And I tried to get rid of the ants, but they were kept coming back. No matter how many things I tried, it just wouldn't get rid of them. So I decided to try a different approach. I got these two products from Amazon, and they work well together. The first one is the reusable outdoor ant bait station from Catchmaster. I like how this is working because you just fill the bait station with the liquid, and I'll talk about the other product that I'm using. But you push the stake into the ground near an ant trail or on the perimeter of the home, and you let the ants find it. I place them around the flower beds or in the front yard around the walkway, and I like that they are reusable. Once the bait is gone, you just refill them instead of throwing everything away or buying new disposable stations. That is saving me money and it's creating less waste, which I definitely like. Another thing I noticed is how easy they are to monitor. Since the station is easy to inspect, I can quickly tell when it's time to add more bait without pulling everything apart. One suggestion I would probably give them for improvement, it would be that I wish these came with the liquid bait already included. These are just reusable stations. So you'll need to purchase a compatible liquid and bait separately. It's not a huge issue for me, but having everything in one package would be something better or easier. And that's where the next product comes in for the bait. I've been using this borax-based liquid ant eliminator called Dominant. What I like most about it, it doesn't just kill the ants. You can see instead the ants are attracted to the liquid. They carry it back to the colony, and eventually it reaches the queen. And that's really the difference, because if you're only killing the ants you see walking around, there's a good chance they'll just keep coming back. The first time I used it, I actually thought it wasn't working. I started seeing even more ants around the bait and I almost removed it, but after doing a little bit of research, I realized that's exactly what it's supposed to see. The ants are gathering the bait and taking it back to the colony. So if you try it, don't panic if you suddenly notice more activity for a day or two. That's actually part of the process. And I was surprised by that. After several days, I started seeing fewer and fewer ants, and eventually the trails that kept showing up around my house disappeared. Another thing that I like is that there's no spraying chemicals everywhere. I don't have to chase ants around with a can of bug spray. I simply fill the bait stations, place them where I've seen activity, and let the ants do the work. Now, if I could improve one thing about the liquid bait, it would be the speed. It isn't an instant solution. Depending on how large the colony is, it can take several days or even a couple of weeks before you completely eliminate the problem. Now, if you're expecting overnight results, you might think it isn't working, but in my experience, giving it time really pays off. What I like most is how well these two products complement each other. The reusable bait stations keep everything neat, protected, and exactly where I want it outside. The bait does the heavy lifting by targeting the colony instead of just the ants you happen to see. For me, the combination has been much more effective than simply spraying ants every time they show up. So, if you're looking for a cleaner, more organized way to deal with outdoor ants and actually target the source of the problem, I think this combination is definitely worth checking out. One tip from my experience is to avoid moving the bait stations around once you've placed them. If you find an active ant trail, leave the station there and let the ants keep coming back to it. It can be tempting to relocate it if you don't see immediate results, but giving the ants uninterrupted access really seems to help the bait make its way back to the colony. I also recommend checking the stations every 3 days to make sure there's still enough bait inside. They're quick to refill and keep the fresh bait available helps ensure the ants continue taking it back to the nest until the activity has completely stopped. Give them a try. They are very effective in eliminating ants from your yard. Both products are easy and fantastic to use. I recommend them 100%.